Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. This is your brother M.O.T.B Bayan coming to you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash. Alright, and basically you know, Salakia for the little background noise. Right now some rain falling. Alright, so if you're hearing anything, you know, sorry about that. Alright, so we're gonna get into this video here. You're seeing this this guy here, right? The guy who bringing out the Neuralink, alright, which is that mark that is going to be in your forehead, alright, which is in your brain, right? As the scriptures talk about, you know, Revelation 13 and 16, alright, and also, you know, the RFID total chip, you know, that they planning to bring out also for you to be able to buy or sell, right? You know, one could you know, both of them will be able to help you to buy or sell, you know, and also, you know, one more or less, you know, doing miracles, you know, as he came out and actually said, you know, basically so-called, you know, Jesus abilities you will be able to do, you know, in that sense he said it, you know. But alright, without further ado, I'm just gonna play this video here. Alright, we more basically going into the money system, alright, in this particular lesson here, right? So without further ado, let's begin.
Will stop being, I think money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. We're doing.
Now, Salakia, keep in mind everything that he's saying and whatnot, he's saying that he predicts. But guess what? He already know what is coming. He already know what is down in the pipeline, right? He already know these things, all right? The elites already brief them with these things. They already put them up and signed them up and basically structured everything the way how they want it to happen, all right? And Elon Musk is to bring forth the mark that is going to be into your forehead, all right? I think Dr. Oz, he's supposed to push the one with the as the RFID total chip, you know. So they already have the people doing it, right? So they already know what is there to come. So when they say predict, you know, the phone had a chime on that. When they say predict, you know, really and truly, they already know what's taking place, all right? They basically lying to you, all right? So let's continue.
I think money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. We do need to be careful because the future is a range of possible outcomes, and they're not all great. But at this point, I do agree with you that it's likely to be great. You know, it's probably 80% likely, maybe more likely to be great. And I do think we'll have universal high income. We're basically just issuing money to people because the output of goods and services will so far exceed the money supply that effectively you have deflation, because just deflation is just the ratio of the outputs of goods and services to the money supply. So if the rate of growth of goods and services far exceeds the rate of growth of the money supply, which I predict will happen, then you will have deflation.
Do you think the value of money is going to significantly decrease? Will we go post-capitalist?
I think money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. It's probably something like an Ian Banks culture sort of future. And I think the AI down the road will really not use human currency. It will just care about power and mass, wattage and tonnage.
It's kind of ironic then, right? Just as you're becoming a multi-trillionaire, money starts to have less value.
I think money will stop being.
We asked him at the ending, right? Money starting to have less value since they become a trillionaire, but they already have things in place, right? Their money is already digital, right? The amount of money that is when you do the ratio with the digital money and the physical money is about 98% of digital money actually being used around the world, right? So the rest of the percentage is what? Dollars, fiat money, which is dying, right? So it have nothing, the money is basically dead already, right? So a couple of things he said, speaking about the the income, the basic income that people are going to be receiving and so forth. Let me just see if I can get back that part.
Relevant at some point in the future. We do need to be careful because the future is a range of possible outcomes, and they're not all great. But at this point, I do agree with you that it's likely to be great. It's probably 80% likely, maybe more likely to be great. And I do think we'll have universal high income.
Right, that universal income that he's speaking about, that he believe they might have that, which they are going to have it. We're seeing everything going digital. Look at the vehicles that you're using today. A lot of vehicles going electrical, right? So it's a digital world that you're going into, right? The method and all these different things, everything is digital. The currency, the money, everything is digital. Right now you're using cards. Right now you're using cards with chips on it. These things is going to be basically nothing very soon, right? In banks, in different places, they have things done already lined up showing you that they're bringing forth the cashless system, right? Big Brother Burra, he did a video in where he went to the bank in Trinidad here, the central bank in Trinidad and Tobago here. You went to it and they show you the lineup, from where the money started, to the paper dollar, to smartphones, to normal phones, then to smartphones, then from that to the chip, to the credit cards with chip on it, to the chip itself, with the RFID totaler chip, with the syringe implant, basically being able to put that rice grain into your hand, under your skin, right? So they're showing you different places. So although you might look up certain things on Google and whatnot, and they will give you a whole rundown of foolishness sometimes, to keep you blinded, right? The banks itself telling you this is the direction they're going, right? They're literally telling you this is the direction they're going, right? So I have some stuff here to show. But before that, let me just get the script here real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices," right? So we are not ignorant of this man's devices that he's bringing out today. The things that he's doing to try to fool Jake. Jake is very simple-minded and they will believe everything that they say, right? They think that the system is basically for them, to help them, all right, which is not. All right, so this is this is the universal income, right? It says universal basic income, UBI, is a social welfare personal in which a proposal in which all citizens regularly receive a guaranteed unconditional cash payment from the government, and this is going to happen basically when the system crash, right? Because they're going to have a lot of cyber attacks on the banks and whatnot. They already put things in place already, where if anything like that happen around the world, in any other banks and whatnot, the banks are authorized to basically seize your money before the whoever sending the surge towards the banks to receive the money from them, the banks are required to basically seize their money, which means if they do that, you will have none, and a matter of fact, when your money goes to the bank, it's already not yours, right? It's already not yours. Go and try to take out your $3 million or $5 million that you have there, or your 50,000 that you have there. Go and just walk up to them and say that you want to take all. They will ask you a lot of questions, right? So it just shows you that the money that goes in there that come from your pocket is not yours after it end up in there, right? Elder Malcolm, he did a video on that also, with a woman explaining that, she works at the banks, and she's more higher up. She explained that when your money goes into the bank accounts, your money is basically not yours anymore, right? So you come like you're borrowing from the money from them, you're borrowing from your own money, which is a bunch of madness. But anyways, right, when that whole shenanigans take place and whatnot with the banks losing the money and whatnot, you basically losing your money. So therefore, people are, the rich wouldn't be rich anymore. The poor, well, they wouldn't have whatever scrums they have there, they wouldn't have it there anymore. So everybody is basically going to be on that one level, right, financial wise. And what is going to take place is that they're going to give out grants, right? That universal basic income, they're going to give out that to everyone, right? But in order for you to receive that, you will have to apply for that RFID, total chip, in order to place under your skin, in order for you to use, to buy, sell, and so forth. So everything is problem, reaction, solution with these people, with Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right? So continuing here, it says he guaranteed unconditional cash payment from the government regardless of their employment status or wealth, right? So regardless, so whether you was a rich person or a poor person or whatever the case may be, regardless of whatever problems you're going through, whether you have a job or you don't have a job, right, you're going to have to take an implantable device in order to receive that payment, right, that basic income, which is also going to come with it will also come with a credit score system, which China is using right now, and China is the main place that pushing it, right? But Esau is going to use the same tactic that China is doing, because China is basically like what a guinea pig place. They basically using those people as guinea pigs, testing everything out on them to see how they react, and so forth, until they decide to push it worldwide, right? Now it says here the primary goal is to eradicate poverty, right? So as I say, problem, reaction, solution. All the things that happening today right now with the Straits of Hormuz and whatnot, they're going to push, they're going to make things, poverty escalate by having a lot of inflations with food supplies and whatnot, because we know the basic things of man's use of life. Let me get that real quick. I think that's Ecclesiasticus. Yeah. So what are you about to Ecclesiasticus 39 and verse 24 start from, it says, as his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things of the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. Right? All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil. Alright, so all these things is normally essential things that you need and so forth. You need a roof over your head, you need clothing, you need all these things. But Esau is making it hard for a lot of people to live today, which is going to cause that poverty, which is his primary goal, as it says here. The primary goal is to eradicate poverty, reduce inequality, and provide a financial safety net for everyone, right? So this is what he wants to do. So when he caused inflations with the Strait of Hormuz and whatnot, the oil prices going up, gas going up, we need oil to run the machines, to build for the machines to keep pumping, to continue working, in order to produce, food supplies and all these different things, all these things oil and gas is using for, right? So when he take away those things, inflation is going to go up, right? We're seeing wars brewing up, we're seeing wars happening in different countries, right? Race wars, civil wars, literal wars, proxy wars, all kind of different wars, right? So we're seeing things happening, and these are what is just known as the beginning of sorrows, right? Now I want to show you something else here, right? This is core characteristics. It says unconditional recipients do not need to pass a means test or fulfill any work, right? Requirements to receive the funds. You see, so you have to go through no kind of things to go through. You have to go through no kind of obstacles and whatnot to receive any funds from them, right? You don't have to go through any of that, right? So basically what they will do is just say, as the book of Revelation say. I'm gonna get it in Revelation. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. Alright? And it says, and he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right? You realize what it say. He caused it all. He caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor. Right? So the rich and the poor. So when it is all this be taken away from you, right? Every single thing taken away from you, what is going to take place? They're going to come forth and present this microchip, to embed under your skin, the one in your forehead also, right? The one that Elon Musk is bringing out, right? They're going to bring forth these devices, and they're going to tell you, well, you have to take it in order for you to continue in society, in order to get bread, in order to buy butter, in order to get water, in order to get something to eat, something to drink, a roof over your head, and so forth. You have to take these implantable device, right? Yeah, you have to be able to, everything is going digital, right? Your digital ID is going to be placed into that micro chip, right? Everything is going to be digital, right? This is what you call the mark of the beast. All right, it is a literal mark, right? It is going to be impricked under your skin. All right, it says here, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, right? No man might buy or sell. Why? Because you had to take that implantable device, right? If you don't take it, you won't be able to get anything to eat. You won't be able to do anything, right? And then on top of that, as I say, there were social credit scores on it, which they will use that to be able to keep you in check, to keep you in line. They want total control, right? That is going to have total control. They're going to have total control over you by having that social credit scores. If you behave a certain way, that's why they have all these cameras. You know, they have the funny man thing where if it is the cameras pick up your face expression and they notice that you see a funny man or a funny girl pass, you know, they're looking fruity, they're looking like, you know, they like this, they like their own kind, right? I'll just leave it like that. You know, you twist up your face in a type of way and they realize, well, look at this person now pass there, and they watch the man who moving like a female, you know, he's scoring at him. If it is a scoring at that person, you know, they could easily just deduct points out of your chip, you know, and then you wouldn't be able to buy certain things with your money and whatnot. You wouldn't be able to go to certain checkpoints, right? They will punish you. That is what they're going to do. They're going to use that to also punish you, you know. Use it like a dog tag, like when you put them dog chain with the invisible fence. You know, if the dog reach a certain point, you know, if you reach a certain distance and you have that invisible fence there, if they cross that, or if they try to cross it, they're going to get shocked. With the color will shock them on the neck, so they will know, hey, it's not to go there. So Esau is going to have a perfect control over you people out there, especially you Jakes, right? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? I'll get one more scripture here real quick. The book of Job, chapter 16. And verse 11, it says, power has delivered me to the ungodly and turned me over into the hands of the wicked. The hands of the wicked today is Esau, Edom, so-called white man. You know, the top banking families and so forth, right? They are the wicked, right? It says, I was at ease, but he has broken me asunder. He has also taken me by my neck, right? And shaken me to pieces and set me up for his mark, right? What mark? This digital mark, right? This digital mark, right? This RFID total chip, right? This is what it is Esau is setting up Jake for, okay? But they have to understand this, because this is the time that we're living in, okay? Let's continue here. I think I saw something else. Regular and recurring. It says regular and recurring. It says it is a continuous long-term stipend rather than a one-time relief check. You see that? So they will constantly be giving you that income in that microchip, right? That is what they're going to be doing. All right, that is what they're going to be doing. That's something else I'll look up also. Right, I did look up this here also. It says the RFID microchip considered a recipient. Alright, it says an RFID radio frequency identification microchip is not generally referred to as a recipient in technology and data transfer context. The chip is usually a transmitter or tag, while the scanner or database that receive and reads the data is the recipient. Now I have a part here that I want to show you. Right, I think this is it here. This is continuing here. It says if you are using a medical context, a what is this? Recipient refers to a person or animal receiving an implant, right, organ or medical treatment. But this whole implant here, this microchip, is an implant, right? That's what you have to understand, because this is what they come in with, right? It says here's how the system works. Now this part here telling you how it work and thing whatnot. Our next part here is bear with my babakasha. Alright, I think it's database. The database. The database, this is how it, this chip is going to work, right? It says the database, the reader sends, sends, he's giving me a little problems. The reader sends this data to a computer or database, right? The database is the ultimate recipient that links the chip's ID number to information to inform like medical history or building access permission. Alright, and as I say, this same device is going to do these type of things, right? I look up this here. Let's check this one out here now. This one here, recipients, the meaning of it. It says a recipient is an individual, organization, or entity designed to receive something, right? Which is that chip, right? The term span multiple fields, most commonly referring to an email receiver and beneficiary of funds, or a patient receiving a medical transplant, right? So again, you know, they're gonna put that RFID total chip inside of you in order for you to receive that, you know, that monthly payment. That is what UBI, right? Universal Basic Income, right? And this is what they want to do. All right, this is what they want to do. Let's read the last one at the bottom here. It says financial and legal. A recipient is the party legally authorized to receive funds, awards, assets, or grants, right? For example, the receiver of a bank wire transfer or a scholarship is termed a grant recipient. All right. So clearly you're seeing, the direction this devil is going.
Basically, just issue
Right.
money to people because the output of goods and services.
Basically does issue money to people, you see. Let me show you something here. For those of you who just wonder why, are they going through all these type of things and whatnot, look at what he said here. That's basically issue money to people. Where you get any money from? People going through poverty, people going through hell and whatnot right now. 144 on the screen. People going through all these things right now. These devils have money to take care of the whole entire planet for the whole empire. They have enough money to take care of the whole world. But they will not. You know why? Because they're evil. They're wicked. They are the ones that the earth is given unto. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? The scriptures say in in Proverbs. I must say Proverbs. I'll check here first. Right. Proverbs 29 and verse 2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Right now you're not seeing anyone rejoicing. Right? Why? It says, but when the wicked bear it rule, the people mourn. And right now we're seeing people mourning. People going through stress, people going through hell. Right? Hell is just known as a lower state. Hard times and the grave. Right? So people mourning, people going through it right now. Right? So we're seeing who is the people that ruling today. The wicked. Right? So Elon Musk is known as a wicked man. Right? Those same Edomites. These people that is in rulership right now. Right? The top banking families and so forth. Right? Now he is a small fry to them. But the ones that you don't see, the ones that is be behind closed doors, they are the ones that pushing this whole scenario here. Right? This is Micah 2 and 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Right? And not lay a literal bed. Their beds, they summit the wrong tables. They sit down around the wrong tables and they make decisions for you. Right? They study what again we could do. They already have the things planned out, done written in a book. Step by step what they're going to do. Right? Trump being in power in this time, that is already written for them to put in place. Right? Trump is their trump card. He is the one to bring chaos and all these things up on the earth. Right? He's also known as aka what? Nero. Right? It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Everything they're doing, it is in the power of their hand. So everything that is going to take place, they are the ones that are going to push it. And the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, is controlling their minds to do that. So with that, I will end it there. Lord willing, this lesson here was edifying and exhorting to the elect of Israel. I'd like to give all praises and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect. This is your brother Ahmad Bayan signing out, and I will say Shalom and Abad Babal.